Okay, here we are with demo video number 2. We're going to do a slightly more complex template this time. We're going to use the Grungery template, and the first thing we'll do is we'll drag in our little indicator, and we determined that 195% was about the right size for this particular setup. So we're going to put that in, and we'll make this 50% opacity, and that's just going to be our frame of reference. And ultimately, we're going to have the clouds in there and some other things, but the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to set up the borders so that we have got those in place and ready to go. There's a border top file and a border bottom file. Once again, we're going to go 195 on that, and we're going to position it where the other one was, and we'll drag the bottom in. Same thing with this, 195, and that one disappeared off the screen, so we're going to drag it in. Okay, and we're going to move these up one because we're going to put the background here. So let's start with a solid background, and eventually I'm going to show you how to have the windows working and everything behind that. So, all right, so if we, for example, wanted to start our video with some kind of text box in the center, for example, something like that, and we, put type in there. Oops. There we go. Okay, there's a simple text box with our borders and everything. But that's about as simple as it's going to get. And if you wanted to do nothing more, you could just use these composed elements from one of the flat files and go with that. But most people are going to want to use the more advanced features. So let's move on to the more advanced features. So let's say that we want the video to open up and show the motion graphic behind it. So we're going to need to do a couple things. We're going to bring in the background with window, and even though it shows solid here, there's actually a window. And let's bring this in here. And again, we're going to have to move these up because we're going to have those carry over. And you can see there's a hole in the middle there showing the background coming through. We got to scale this up. Okay, there it is. And we're going to continue the borders out so that they cover that. And now you can see, in fact, we can get rid of the background image. Now we're going to have a transition from a solid background to a translucent background, and or to a background with a window in it, I should say. And now we will scale up our motion. And so now when this runs a little bit, it opens up to a window, and you have your animation coming through. And so you can have this obviously run for as long as you want, and you've got to continue the borders out to whatever your duration is going to be so that they're always there. Okay. And then let's say we wanted the motion to end after a few seconds, and then we wanted a text box using this element to come in. So we will scale that up and move it over here. So then when our video ends, we go to a text box. And so you can see you can go from blank to video to a text box and back and forth as you need to do this, as you see fit. And then adding the type is going to be simple, like I showed you before. You just create some type elements, drop them in. If you want to have a text box, you can drop it in. And if you're working in PowerPoint or a similar app, then obviously you're not going to have the motion element in there, but you can have some of the same. You're going to treat this the same way with the different pieces and laying in type. And that's that's pretty simple. That's how these work, and I appreciate your watching. If you have any questions or concerns, get in touch with me, and I'll do my best to help you. Thanks.